Hello! Welcome to A Muggle's Perspective. We're here to talk about some Harry Potter book chapters. I know a lot about Harry Potter. I'm here with my friend Braden, who doesn't know anything about Harry Potter. Braden, how the heck are you?
I'm doing well, man. Doing well. I'm cold. It's really cold here.
It's not warm.
I haven't checked it recently, but I know this morning it was 6 degrees. My phone keeps sending an update what seems like every 30 minutes about this winter storm that's supposed to come tomorrow. Basically telling me that, hey, you're going to be buried in snow, so
Is a winter storm coming for me? Did I miss this?
Man, I would have to assume so. You being up there close to
80% chance of snow tomorrow.
Yeah. Like the warning is from like 7 p.m. tonight to 7 a.m. Tuesday. So, and we're recording this on a Sunday afternoon.
We're projected 4 to 6 inches.
Yeah, we got read 5 to 8 this morning. If we get 8 inches, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not even going to try.
Why would you?
My job is not worth it.
Very
Hannah's
difficult.
is worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Saving lives.
Yeah.
One day at a time. Well, speaking of saving lives, here's a picture of the wood stove that you built. It's pretty neat. Speaking of saving lives, we've got Aberforth Dumbledore, we've got a dragon, we've got Voldemort killing some people. A lot going on in these 3 chapters of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I thought you said these are, and then it turned out that's not what you said. I was like, what are they? So yeah, we're starting on chapter 26, Gringotts. Got that opened up here. I've got a couple questions for you here, Braden. So this is a question that I feel like I've asked you many times, especially in this book. How good was the plan? Harry, Ron, Hermione bring a goblin with them, break into a bank. Was this a good plan?
I think entry plan was good.
Mm-hmm. Which is classic trio.
Right. Entry, like you've got the goblin. They keep hitting people with the I can't remember which curse, but Harry keeps hitting people with the like mind control one, which is he does really well under pressure. Like
the Imperious curse, yeah.
Imperious curse. Which also I want to ask while we're on that, isn't that one of the 3 unforgivables?
Oh yeah, super not forgivable.
So he's super unforgiven at this point.
Yeah, not gonna be able to forgive him. The thing is that in the current political climate, where basically Death Eaters are running the Ministry of Magic, it's not going to be prosecuted as often as it used to be using these unforgivables. So from a legal standpoint, he's pretty much in the clear, but morally, I don't know how you feel about it.
Yeah.
That's my second question.
I think his motives are pure, but I think it's a slippery slope, you know? You get a little taste of that power.
A couple chapters in, he's going to be killing people.
Yeah. Well, you would have to think he's going to have to do the curse or the killing curse to defeat Voldemort. I don't know how else you would.
One would think.
So, anyways, entry plan was good. I like bringing the goblin. I like
the Bellatrix Polyjuice situation.
The Bellatrix Polyjuice, all of that. Really thought long and hard and well about getting into the bank. Didn't think real well for how to get out. And it's hard to imagine, like, you can't really prepare for what kind of booby traps are going to be laced, like, within the...
But that's why you brought the goblin.
That's true.
You've got the, head booby trap architect.
Yeah, you would have hoped that he would have had some intel on, like, that particular vault. Like, hey, guys, I'm going to help you get in there, but once we do, like, everything's going to be super hot to the touch, so... What do you think about like
randomly? It's not going to kill you. It's just going to be really hot.
Yeah. Like let's kind of brainstorm through that. But before we take off here,
you got some cold define spells or something.
But I also think we saw the goblin's true motives once we got in there. So I don't know that he really cared. He was just like, "Look, I'll help you get in there, and then I'm getting mine." So
yeah, and we saw him just run back to his goblin buddies. He's like, "This is."
Yeah.
I'm not with you in spirit. I'm just with you as far as it benefits me.
Yeah. So yeah, they got lucky on exit. But it's kind of a half-baked plan.
Yeah, I mean, you try to think about what their exit plan was. I'm guessing that they just hoped that their Bellatrix Lestrange walking in, they're going to be allowed to visit the vault, get what they want, and then leave. But you have to assume something's going to go wrong.
Yeah, and not enough consideration was given to the fact that the plan kind of hinges on your trust in our goblin friends here.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like from the beginning when he agreed to help, it's not like he gave you warm and fuzzies about it.
Right.
You know, he would have, like, in hindsight's 2020, we say that all the time when we talk about their plans, but like, I think desperation and lack of options breeds kind of blind trust.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand, but yeah, not thinking about how to get out, and then not maybe thinking about, like, can we truly trust? I am blanking on the goblin's name.
Griphook.
Griphook. Can we truly trust Griphook all the way through?
Yeah.
And do we have exit plans if he bails on us halfway through, or grabs the sword of Gryffindor and is like, all right, like, line up, I'm gonna gut you. You know?
I feel like he can't. He's too small to like really pick it up that well. He's just a little goblin.
He's small, but you would think he's probably quick, right?
Yeah.
He's like
I
a little
guess so.
Steph Curry running around.
I can just picture Griphook like Shimeen. Well, and there's a little piece to it, and I'm not sure. It's kind of easy to miss, but a lot of the trouble that they run into is that these goblins were basically A, warned that imposters were going to come, and B, knew that Bellatrix Lestrange didn't have her real wand. And so if someone shows up with Bellatrix's real wand, red flag, that can't be actually her. And so they got up to the counter and then were like, oh, we didn't actually think about any of this.
Right.
I mean, like, if you zoom out, it seems like a good plan. You want to get into a vault so you become that person, but they didn't think about the context of what had just happened in the weeks prior that would make it like public knowledge that she couldn't be going and doing that.
So, in your opinion, would there have been a better option in terms of characters to polyjuice into? I don't. That's not how you should say that, but that's how I'm going to say it.
Well, they're also limited to Bellatrix because that's whose hair they have. You know, you don't just get to decide that you're going to be freaking Dolohov or whatever. You don't have any pieces of Dolohov.
Yeah.
So you can do what they did with Ron and just make him look like a stranger. I think the idea to Imperious them and make them do what you want is going to work. I mean, you can just get in as whoever and then go to that vault. But you have to be someone.
Yeah. Maybe the better route, I mean, we're really reaching here, but you've got the connection in Griphook. Griphook needs to make a phone call to someone he trusts within Gringotts and say, hey, let us in the back door.
Yeah.
Let us in the side door. So limited exposure. Not that many people know that you have entered the building, like that Bellatrix Lestrange, air quotes, has entered the building. And then the 2 or 3 goblins that are part of that process, you got to Imperious them immediately.
You don't trust him. Well, also, I mean, we're overlooking the cloak. It's not even let us in. It's, hey, it's Griphook. I'm back. Let me in. Harry Potter sneaks in with him. He's invisible. Yeah. You get as far as you can under the cloak, then you Imperious as needed.
Yes. Dude,
they're always becoming
use
someone.
The friggin' cloak.
Instead of just sneaking in. They did use it here, but
yeah. It's just I don't ever feel like they use it to its full potential. Yeah. You know? There's so much left out there for the cloak to help with.
I guess the argument is that in that plan, then now Hermione's not going. And like, do you really want to make a plan where at least Hermione can't go? Ron's not going to be likely and left at home, but you can't leave Hermione on the bench.
Yeah, maybe that's the route with this plan is you need to deploy, like you need to split up.
Yeah, so you just send Hermione in.
Yeah, like you send Ron, I mean, if you think Ron can handle the Imperious and Harry can handle the Imperious, those two just go on an Imperious spree throughout the bank, kind of, holding down the fort while Hermione runs in there and gets what's needed and gets out.
Yeah. I mean, we're just spitballing here, and they spent weeks coming up with this plan. So I don't know. That was the next part of it was, at this point, going forward, do you have trust in the trio? If they sit down, they're like, better make a plan. Like, do you just assume it's going to go wrong?
I don't know. I need to cut them some slack because most of these plans are having to be birthed and then put into action in a pretty limited space of time.
Yeah.
It's not like they have all right, so we need to break into Gringotts in probably 6 months.
Yeah.
So let's hit the drawing board here and brainstorm together. It's kind of like, we got to go. So this seems best in the moment. We've got a goblin on our side. We've got an invisibility cloak. We've got Bellatrix hair. This makes sense. Let's do it.
Yeah, and it's not like, in a normal bank robbery, you can pick your bank and pick the most advantageous day to go in. And that's not the case. Like, they have to go into this specific vault.
Yeah.
And so you really are limited.
Yeah.
Braden's getting a text here, so we're just going to take a little texty-text break.
Sorry, guys. Wife's texting about dinner ideas.
You don't have a pre-planned Valentine's Day dinner idea?
We did that Friday.
Oh.
Yeah. We had steak, sweet potato, green bean casserole, sangria, because it was on sale.
You had steak, sweet potato, and green beans all in a casserole? A steak, sweet potato, and green bean casserole?
Yes. It was actually one of those table meals where you just dump all the ingredients on a table and just mix them together with your hands.
Those are so gross.
We went real Neanderthal with Valentine's Day.
Those table nachos.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
I love the idea, but I don't love the idea with a ton of people.
Yeah. And
that's usually what that is, right? You do it at a party with friends or something. It's I don't know, just dump a bunch of Mexican food on the table. And it's well.
I struggle with it staying hot.
Yeah.
For one thing. And then, what if one person doesn't like sour cream, one person doesn't like avocado?
Yeah.
You can't customize it. Okay, so I was going to ask, is it okay to use unforgivable curses at this point? And we're kind of past that, so we already discussed that. Then I was going to ask, where do we go from here? But we know where we go from here because this is no longer the last chapter that we're discussing this episode. So we're going to go ahead and cut that out. Just go ahead and cut that out. Do we care about... There's a couple things. Do we care about Travers? The other Death Eater shows up and is like, hey guys, I'm part of the crew now. It's me, your friend Travers.
Travers.
Yeah, Hermione's accidentally, she says, good morning. And he's like, what? Why aren't you being a jerk to me? He's the other Death Eater. They end up imperiousing him. Okay, we don't care about him. Do we care? Do we care about the beggars lining Diagon Alley?
No.
Okay. We got to focus on Harry Potter at this point.
Yeah, pretty much.
We haven't talked really at all about the whole dragon situation. Did you have strong feelings about, Hermione's, all about it. Oh, they're using those clankers. That's so barbaric. That's, they're using pain as a motivator to get it to stay. Right. They've blinded it, all that stuff.
Yeah. I care in the sense that, I'll be honest. I think it was the last book. Which of the books has on the cover Harry riding a dragon? Is it none of them? I thought I had distinct memory of him riding a dragon on one of them.
Riding a dragon. It's not this one.
I could, yeah.
I'm looking at it.
Could be,
so are you.
That could totally be a figment of my imagination. I don't know.
In the fourth one is the one where he interacts most with dragons, and the fourth one is just a picture of him being smiling in the middle. So
okay. Well, okay. So that doesn't actually happen. But I think the dragon, this is not the last time we'll see the dragon.
I was going to ask, in the next chapter, should we have just kept the dragon? Like, we've got a dragon that could be on our team.
Yeah. I think we domesticate the dragon.
Yeah.
Because that'll be easy.
Easy. Just get Hagrid on it.
Yep. Yeah, you've got to bring Hagrid in. He loves dragons, right?
Yeah. Heck
And
yeah,
he's
dude.
like probably a quarter of the size of one.
Well, you can get Grop to help, like, tie it down. You know,
Okay.
if you're going to hog tie a dragon, you want a giant.
You want to Grop. Yeah, I think we need to add Pet Dragon to the arsenal here as we load up for Voldemort.
Yeah, it's like in Princess Bride when Wesley comes back from the dead. You know what I'm talking about? Princess Bride?
Yes.
Okay. And he can't move all the way yet, but he's like, let's take stock of like what do we have? You know, what all stuff do we have? If we at least had a Holocaust cloak. And like, oh yeah, we've got a Holocaust cloak. You know, you got to have as many things as you can. Right now we have an invisibility cloak and we have a beaded bag. And we have Harry's scar.
Can we fit the dragon in the beaded bag?
Why not? Spot the lie. You couldn't do it.
Couldn't do it.
Unspottable. Chapter 27, The Final Hiding Place. This is the chapter where Harry sees into Voldemort's mind and realizes that Voldemort realizes that they're going after Horcruxes. It's got some page flipping sounds. So we see Voldemort in this chapter. He's very confident that no one really understands him and no one, you know, that he's so much smarter. He's hidden all of his stuff. No one's ever going to know where to put it. So why is he so confident? And what does this say about him?
Well, I think all evil figures always have that moment of like perceived invincibility before the downfall, right? Mm-hmm. Like in real life and in stories. So like that's kind of to be expected from like the villain. But like as of right now, it would be hard to blame him. Harry, Ron, and Hermione aren't exactly finding Horcruxes at an alarming rate. And when they do find them, it's not like it's always obvious how to destroy them.
Yeah.
Or easy, like we saw with Ron and the locket.
Yeah.
So there's some confidence to be had there that like these are kids seeking for something that they have no idea where to start on their search. Albus Dumbledore's dead. So it's like he's kind of been the saving grace for Harry in the past. Not always, but in a few pretty important situations. Mm-hmm. So that's out of the way. So there's just a lot of there's not as much standing in his way. And they've got control of Hogwarts. They've got a control of the media. You know, people are living in fear and isolation. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I mean, I think all those things kind of culminate together to this false sense of invincibility. Yeah. And if he truly has the Elder Wand now,
right,
then legend has it he's invincible.
And I was just thinking about the aspect where he even says, like, I trusted Bellatrix and Lucius with knowing it was a Horcrux, and that was a mistake. So, like, he doesn't even have friends. Like, there's no one that even knows this information that could betray him.
Yeah. So, he does or does not know that Harry can see into his mind.
You have to assume that he doesn't. Because he's just like thinking, okay, where is this Horcrux? Here's where it is. Like that would be, if he knew, then he'd be really giving away that information.
Unless he wanted to lure Harry to a certain spot.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah.
So is that where you're at? Because, I mean, the big reveal in this chapter is that he says one of them is in Hogwarts.
Right.
So are you to the point where you don't trust that now?
I would still trust it because he doesn't tell us where in Hogwarts. So that's what makes me feel like he's luring him there. That's a shaky, at best, prediction, but like if he's thinking about where it is, like if he's running through all his Horcruxes, like taking it mental inventory, like why would he get to Hogwarts and not think of the exact spot it's in?
Yeah.
Why would he just say, oh yeah, and this last one, this super important one, is at Hogwarts?
And he's just so confident. He's like, I have ever like really found everything Hogwarts has to offer. So like, there's no way anyone could find it where it is.
Yeah.
So as far as you're concerned, a lot of this is just classic villainous hubris, just overconfidence.
That's what it feels like. Yeah. And we would have to assume that the final Horcrux is miles beneath the school, even farther than we've gone in previous chapters in books.
Yeah, like an unprecedented distance underground.
Yeah.
Like you come out and you're in a Chinese school of magic.
Exactly. Like Harry's seeing this in Voldemort's mind and he's thinking like, what an idiot. I've actually been miles beneath the school. But when this happens at the end, when they meet there, Voldemort's going to be laughing and being like, no, we have more miles to go. And then the final battle takes place like in underneath China.
It's so like Harry and Voldemort get into like a magical elevator and just kind of wait and like have to, while it keeps going down. Yeah,
there's a really fun scene where Voldemort keeps hitting the button, getting impatient.
Got the elevator
and then,
music.
They stop at certain floors and somebody's on and it's really awkward. And yeah.
That would work well in the movies. I think you'll really see that come to life on screen. Ralph Fiennes and Dan Radcliffe. My only other question that I had was if they should have tried to keep the dragon. Because a lot of this, I mean, we skipped over the first scene where he realizes that they're going after Horcruxes and he just kills everyone in the room.
Yep.
Don't know if you care about the lives of those goblins. And I mean, I guess I can ask you, even this is unrelated to that, so you don't have to come up with an answer because I know you don't care about the goblins. Was there any point where you were worried for how they were going to get off this dragon? Or you thought it was going to turn out differently than it did while you were reading?
I was at one point worried that because this dragon was guarding the Lestrange vault, that it was going to be like, I'm finally free, but I'm going back to my master's house.
Oh,
and
okay.
Just dumps him off at like wherever the Lestranges hang out.
Joke's on you. Back in Malfoy Manor. Malfoy Manor Part 2.
That would have sucked. But I will say, you asked if I care about the goblins being massacred.
Yeah.
I care because it's kind of another institution of society that now Voldemort has like complete control over. So he has the media, he has the education, and now he has like financial institutions.
Yeah. And he's had implicit control, but now it's explicit control. Mm-hmm.
Right.
So
full
that's
takeover.
concerning. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can start garnishing people's wages and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, that's pretty much that chapter. Howl in if you have any other thoughts on the final hiding place. Because there's only so much to talk about. I mean, the first 5 pages are just Harry being like, I really had to hold on tight to that dragon so that I didn't fall off before we got to a lake.
I'm scared, but I'm also kind of having some fun.
This wasn't my first time riding something high in the air that I didn't have control over. Ron was dumber than me about it. Okay, so we go to Hogsmeade. We're ready for chapter 28, The Missing Mirror. A lot more going on in this chapter in terms of questions that I can ask you. We get to Hogsmeade. Turns out that there's a Harry Potter-based alarm. The Death Eaters walk out and they're like, so Harry Potter is here, is he? It's the only solution. And then Aberforth's like, no, it was a cat, and they'd believe it. I don't understand. Why were you so confident that it was Harry if you can be swayed pretty quickly into believing that it was just a cat.
That's a good question. Yeah. I would love to have heard that convincing argument of why it is a cat. Like, the off script, like, oh man, like it makes sense. Hear me out.
Yeah. My cat has a scar on its forehead, and it was a joke, and I named it Harry Potter, so of course it would trigger your Harry Potter alarm. So I was going to ask one of my questions, why couldn't they summon the cloak? They said Accio cloak right when they got there, and the cloak didn't like pull away from Harry, Ron, and Hermione. Did you have a theory on that?
Is the cloak... Remind me of the 3 Hallows. The sword... I'm sorry.
Got the sword. Classic Hallow. Just gave it to a goblin. The goblin Hallow. You got the wand that kills people.
You got the Elder Wand. You've got... I thought there was an invisibility cloak.
There is an invisibility cloak. That's one of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
A true cloak of invisibility that never fades and renders the wearer truly invisible. And then there's a resurrection stone.
Yeah. I'm trying to tie everything back to the Hallows, and this is maybe a stretch. Because maybe the cloak, when in the hands of the right possessor, is the only person who can summon said cloak, because it is the cloak from the Deathly Hallows.
So it's a little bit like the wand chooses the wizard kind of situation where like Ollivander was saying, the wand will only respond properly to its true master. Same with the cloak.
Yeah. Yeah, like didn't Dumbledore give Harry the cloak?
Yes. He having said that it was originally James's.
So maybe James is the only one who can truly summon the cloak.
Because he made it or something?
Yes. His father made it and swaddled him in it as a baby wizard.
Lost him immediately. Could not find him for several days.
That'd be terrible. The baby's crying. You can't figure it out.
Yeah. But he's a magic baby too, so like his crying has caused him to like levitate to the ceiling, and he's invisible, stuck to the ceiling.
It's not just like where's he at on the couch or the crib. It's like where's he at in time and space.
It's a Jack situation.
Yeah.
So then obviously, the other questions that we've got here, we talked about the whole Aberforth convincing them. He's like, no, deers are goats. Step 1. Step 2, it was my cat. And that just went off pretty easily. This chapter is a lot of Dumbledore family backstory.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think knows Harry better? No, I'm sorry. Who do you think knows Albus Dumbledore better at this point? Harry Potter or Aberforth Dumbledore? Because they're kind of at odds.
Yeah. I think as the reader, I am meant to be inclined by Ms. Rowling herself that Aberforth would know him better. Abe.
Honest Abe.
Abe Dumbledore. Just because, like, Harry knows Dumbledore, but in a pretty limited capacity.
Yeah, Dumbledore was definitely firmly in control of all of their interactions. They didn't just see each other at the store and just like strike up a chat. It was always like, come to my office and I will tell you things.
Right. And it wasn't ever really like, hey, I just got my hands on some really good mead. You want to come kick it? Or,
yeah,
it was kind of like,
what I wouldn't give to read that story.
Yeah. It was always just kind of like, come to my office and I'm going to kind of either reveal something to you I should have before, or I'm going to like give you breadcrumbs so that you can find your way to the answer.
Yeah.
It was never like,
or you can come to my office, explain to me what happened, and I'll give you 1,000 points for Gryffindor.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, though Dumbledore and Harry were closely aligned, and Dumbledore was a sort of like shadowy
grandfather figure.
It was like they were like, if you took a big high level perspective looking at their relationship, it was like Harry doesn't really know him
as a dude.
Dumbledore knows him.
Yeah.
But it's not a two-way street. And maybe it's easier to see that and say that now in the story when we're hearing like other sides of Dumbledore that we didn't know. Mm-hmm. But like Aberforth knew him his whole life.
Yeah.
And got to see the best and the worst of him. And because Dumbledore was so like secretive and just kind of withheld details and information, you're left feeling like I would say this chapter was the first time I truly felt like, okay, you know what? We don't know Dumbledore. Like, I hadn't really bought in on all the rumors previously. Like when we were at the wedding and, you know, Rita Skeeter's articles and all that stuff, I was kind of like, yeah, you know, fake news. But now it's kind of like, yeah, you know what? Like, there's probably more to this story.
Yeah, so I think the question is, how many facts do you need to know about someone before you know them? Like, is it more about knowing their intentions and like what's in their heart and like what kind of person they are, or is it more about knowing the things they have done and like, you know, having knowledge of events and facts? Because I think Harry, I mean, like you said,
yeah, that's a good question.
The relationship is pretty one-sided in terms of the flow of knowledge information, but Harry has seen him do things. I mean, he's watched Dumbledore defend him in court. He watched Dumbledore take the potion. He has watched Dumbledore like shout down Fudge and like really stand up for, you know, the downtrodden and Muggles' rights and honor and that kind of stuff. And so
yep, you're right.
And whereas Aberforth is like, oh man, when we were freaking teenagers, he was a jerk. And it's like, yeah, true. Like, both can be true.
Yeah. That's a good point. That, because if you believe, which I would say I do, that like a relationship hinges more on knowing someone's heart than just facts about them, then you would say Harry did know Dumbledore. So that kind of flops my whole argument on its face.
Well, I don't think that it necessarily has to be one or the other. They know different aspects of him, right? The Dumbledore that Harry knew, the things that Aberforth knew about him were still true, but this is 100 years later, literally 100 years later. He had tried by that point to suppress certain parts of himself and like move beyond things and grow as a person, but that doesn't mean that they weren't still aspects of his personality somewhere deep down.
Yeah. And I think the more important question is like, what of those things in Dumbledore's past, like how do those connect to Voldemort? And how does that complicate the situation? Because yes, we knew Dumbledore's heart and his motives, or at least we knew that his motives were pure.
Yeah.
But
in the 90s, but in the 1890s, what happened that changed the facts? Yeah.
Yeah. And like you said, like the two don't have to be mutually exclusive. And when we look at Dumbledore as a total character, it just makes it really hard right now with him being dead. So like, you know, you want to go to him and be like, hey, I've got some like kind of sketchy stuff being told to me about you.
Yeah.
But I trust you. So we need to sit down and kind of iron all this out.
Yeah. Walk me through the context of what happened here.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I still maintain belief as the reader that Dumbledore, despite his past or whatever happened or didn't happen, recognized we have to eliminate Voldemort. Harry's the only one who can do it. I'm devoting the rest of my life to helping that cause. I'm going out swinging, giving Harry the best chance he can to killing Voldemort. But so I believe that's true. But then on the other side of the same coin, it's like, so why didn't you just give him all the information?
Secrets and lies. So Aberforth keeps saying he grew up on it. He was all about secrets and lies, just like our mom.
Do you think it's a power complex of like, if he were to just divulge everything to Harry, there wouldn't really be use for him anymore?
It could be.
He seems more mature than that, but
you can't like divulge wisdom. I mean, like,
that's true.
I see what you're saying, that like there are facts that he did eventually or did not give to Harry, but it's how you interpret those facts, I guess. Right. I mean, like, I was a teacher and like I tried to freaking teach like vocab words. Like I tried to give them knowledge, but you know, even if you learn a bunch of vocab, like you can't just like tell someone grammar and have them like download it and then like re-upload. Now I can speak Spanish, you know, like,
right.
It's like you have to, it's about communication. And so like that's kind of my analogy to like wisdom, is like how to actually use the knowledge.
Right.
That's why I never understood. So you know how in this book a couple times someone would be like, Dumbledore messed up, and someone else would say, oh, he was just a kid. And Harry would go, he was the same age that we are now. You know what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. Or same thing with James torturing Sirius in the 5th book, or torturing Snape in that memory, flipping him upside down. And so, like, it wouldn't be like, what do you want me to say, Harry? Like, I would hope that you're a better person in 30 years than you are now. Like, are you not going to try to get better and mature and, like, improve and make better choices?
Yeah. It's very complex. Yeah.
My third question here, I mean, we've sort of already touched on lots of parts of it. It was just, how does knowing the story about Ariana, about his sister, how does that change your view of Dumbledore, your understanding of Dumbledore?
Well, okay, so let's walk back through the Ariana piece, because I don't remember all the details. I read this. We were set to record Thursday.
Yeah. I
read this Wednesday.
Yeah.
So I've had some sleeps since then.
Sure.
Ariana.
Sister.
She was attacked.
Yeah.
Abe and Alb's sister. She was attacked by some muggles while she was just kind of messing, trying to learn some magic.
Yeah. In the backyard.
And she kind of went crazy.
Mm-hmm.
She was traumatized. So Dumbledore's dad goes after those muggles. And actually ends up getting locked up in Azkaban.
Yep.
And he stayed pretty quiet on the whole subject, trying to like protect Ariana, I guess. So then like the rest of the family kind of lives the rest of their lives like Ariana's like this weird secret that we kind of just pretend like we don't want the outside world to know.
In public,
Yeah. And so the real knock against Dumbledore becomes like he sort of treats Ariana like a non-person. The rest of like he kind of just like focuses in schoolwork, and it leaves Aberforth to be the one to kind of take care of her.
Yeah, he doesn't make her a priority. Especially when it gets to the point where both the parents are dead, he kind of has to be the head of the family, or he insists that he is. He's like, no, Aberforth, you need to go back to school. I'll take care of her. but then just doesn't.
And so then Ariana, as a teenager, accidentally kills their mother with some magic that got out of hand.
Yeah.
Dumbledore actually comes home,
Yep.
takes care of her for a little while, but then he meets Grindelwald, and he's kind of like, yeah, this is more fun. Like chasing after power with him and stuff.
Yeah, so I'm kind of trying to have to decide how deep to go into some of this stuff. So, like, that there's another series of Harry Potter-based movies called Fantastic Beasts.
Yes. Yep.
So, assuming that we eventually watch those, there's parts of these conversations, because those are prequels. I mean, that's, I can tell you that. Like, those, the events of those movies occur long before the Harry Potter books are set.
Okay.
So there's more to this conversation that we will have then, for sure, assuming that we have it. But yeah, there's the whole aspect of what Dumbledore and Grindelwald are doing. You've seen the phrase "for the greater good" a couple of times,
Right.
and so what do you know about Gellert Grindelwald at this point?
Not much.
Not much. He is, a pretty explicitly, which is weird because so is Voldemort, but he's a Hitler figure. So
Really?
yeah, the battle between Dumbledore and Grindelwald takes place in 1945. Like, we learned that in the very first book, like that was a battle that they had, and like, it can't be coincidence that it corresponds like with that exact year,
Right.
So his whole thing is, why do wizards have to be in hiding and, be kind of scared of revealing themselves to muggles and stuff? We're more powerful. We should just rise up and take control of muggles and elevate wizards above that. So it's not as explicit in terms of like the genocide necessarily.
Yeah, it's just the
that
whole
you
like
think of with Voldemort.
superiority complex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the idea is that as teenagers, he and Dumbledore have one of these like intellectual flings where they just get both caught up in this idea, and then the Hallows comes into it, and Dumbledore is so focused on that he's neglecting his siblings.
Yeah. Which is, I don't know.
He's 17 at this point.
Yeah, he's 17, and like, I guess there's some sympathy we can have there with just like, it'd be hard not to focus on that as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, eventually Aberforth and Grindelwald get in a big fight, and I think Grindelwald actually uses the Cruciatus curse.
Yeah.
On our boy Abe. And it actually ends up that like Albus, Aberforth, and Grindelwald are all like flinging curses at each other, and it's like an epic battle. And Ariana accidentally gets killed in the middle of it.
Yeah.
So now we've got all this guilt and grief over like accidentally killing her sister.
Yeah, and Grindelwald shows his true colors. He just bails. He doesn't feel guilty. He's like, oh frick, I don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah. And then Aberforth kind of feels like Albus almost has like a weight off his shoulders because of it. Like he displays that kind of feeling and kind of resents him for that.
And so that's where Harry pushes back. Because he's like, now I know this part of the story, which is that he did not feel like a weight had been lifted. Like it weighed on him the whole rest of his life, because I saw him in his darkest moment there in the lake drinking that potion.
Right.
My question was, how does your view or understanding of Albus Dumbledore change now that you know what you know about his teenagehood? Or does it? Maybe it doesn't.
I mean, it adds a lot of like depth to the character as far as like he had a lot of mental baggage, and I'm sure he carried a ton of guilt and like shame over the death of ultimately like his mother, but then, you know, I'm sure he felt at times like Ariana's death was his own fault.
Yeah.
So like, and that kind of grief and guilt or shame, whether it's justified or not, probably it makes it easy to kind of like be more concealed, maybe less forthcoming with details of the past.
Yeah.
So I think it helps you maybe sympathize a little bit, at least, with him not really wanting to get into that with Harry.
And why he reveals information to Harry so sparingly and in such like fits and starts.
Yeah. I don't think it really changes my view of Dumbledore as like truly fighting for the greater good. Because, I mean, is that what's in question right now? As like, was Dumbledore truly after the greater good, or was he after like power? Is that what like Aberforth is sort of arguing? Or
Yeah, Aberforth doesn't necessarily say that Albus had evil intentions, but it's like, he's like, Harry, why are you putting faith in what he's saying? Why are you going down this path that's so dangerous for you instead of like having your own best interest in mind and like running away from Voldemort just because you trust in this guy like who hasn't earned your trust, like who doesn't deserve it?
Yeah.
You think he cares about you, but he never really cared about anyone. He just cares about himself, kind of thing.
Right.
So I guess that part, gets into like morals.
Yeah, I don't think I subscribe to that view of Dumbledore. I think when you've got that kind of like emotional scarring from like so much death, like in your immediate family, and some of it you probably take on as your own fault. Like it's probably really tough to know how to express. Like, I don't know, like when you have all that background information, then you think about the things Dumbledore, like his actions, like in protecting Harry, saving Harry, helping, kind of becoming a grandfatherly figure. Like that's probably the best way he can express selflessness and love. Like communication is just going to be hard after like that kind of stuff when you're a teenager.
Yeah. Need some wizard therapy.
Yeah.
Do we care about this tunnel leading into Hogwarts that Neville comes out of?
Yeah, I care because I'm like, what? It's like he sends Ariana away in the picture, and she goes and like comes back and has Neville with her. You're going to be like, what does that mean? What's your prediction? And I'm going to tell you, I have no freaking clue.
Man, this is where, I mean, from here to the end of the book is like, just strap on. Like, this is, I mean, my favorite literature, basically. Like, I just love these chapters.
Yeah.
And I was going to make a joke when you're talking about like what we're learning about Dumbledore. I was like, yeah, and I'm sure we're not going to learn anything else and nothing's going to change. And like, there's, how many twists and stuff you want to expect from here on out.
Yeah, I don't know. I am hoping though that I made a really early prediction, not like telling people not to sleep on Neville. Like he was going to end up being really important. I think I said he was going to end up being like evil, like going to be coerced into helping Malfoy or something. But, I wonder if like maybe Neville was the only one who can truly summon the cloak. I don't know. I would love for Neville to end up being super important in his like weird, goofy way. Yeah,
we'll have to see kind of these next couple chapters. I'll do a little bit of a prep for the listeners so you guys can get your schedules lined up with ours. Because we were gonna do it one way, but then things changed and happened. So next week we'll read 29, 30, and 31. We'll do 3 chapters next week, normal episode. Then after that, we'll do basically a live read episode of chapters 32 and 33. Then we'll do 34 and 35 as an episode. And then we'll finish out with 2 more episodes and then the movie.
All right.
3 chapters next week, 29 through 31. Yeah, I think that'll be good. Got some real good chapters. Lots going to happen. We'd love to hear from you, your thoughts on what those chapters are going to be like, what you want to hear from Braden, questions you have. We'd love to hear, we get a lot of comments, but I'd love to hear your questions that you have for Braden. I mean, if you're still listening to the pod, this is why you started it, is so you could hear what he thinks about the end of it. So let us know what you want to know, what you want to hear from him. I will probably have a guest on here coming up too.
978-768-8370.
Howl on in, 978-Potter0. Follow us on Instagram, message us, email us, mugglesperspective@gmail.com. I think that's what it is. Mugglesperspective. You'll figure it out. Braden, anything else you want to add before we sign out for the day?
I think we've covered it. Stay warm,
some
everybody.
Dumbledore talk, some dragon talk. Shout out Braden's dad for chopping wood. Giving Braden a love for chopping wood.
He's a lumberjack of sorts.
Shout out Sam Miller for helping me chop and transport wood. Shout out Hannah for tolerating Braden podcasting in this room. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, bro.
So.
Bye.
Bye. We need to get that as a drop.